Hi there, and good afternoon. Thanks for joining Canceling COVID. I'm Tanya Ivins, and our overall goal is to keep you and your family safe. That's correct. And it's a safe space right here. During the pandemic, we have conversations that are real and relevant. Of course, we're addressing your COVID concerns and questions, and we bring on some incredible guests to assist us in accomplishing that goal. Of course, I want to say thank you to Mecklenburg County Public Health. MECNC.gov. That's MECNC.gov. We're so grateful for your support. 980-314-9400. 980-314-9400 is the contact for you to call. Again, MEC County Public Health, MECNC.gov. Also, Groundwater Solutions. They are one of our sponsors that continue to support us. Dr. Tricia Black. She will be joining us on Friday, but we're grateful again that we continue to keep you informed with real relevant information. Right now, Mecklenburg County has $215 million worth of federal funding to invest in COVID-19 relief. Now, I would love for you guys to weigh in, and I find it interesting here lately. City and county officials are asking for input from citizens, and you can't say they don't ask us what we think, because here's an opportunity. I've seen a lot of requests for surveys to be responded to by you asking for input. So please hop in the chat and tell us, what should Mecklenburg County do? How should they use the $215 million in COVID-19 relief funds? There has to be some suggestions that they probably have not thought about. There has to be some. There have to be some that they certainly haven't considered that you just might come up with. So how do you think the money should be spent? Drop it in the chat, leave your comments. Meantime, let's talk about the county planning a virtual public hearing next Tuesday at 6:30 to discuss this matter. And I think that people certainly have suffered so much and have dealt with so much loss, and we all have continued to deal with it. But here's an opportunity for you to weigh in and kind of share and have your voice be heard. Now to our first topic of the day. More help is on the way for anyone struggling to pay rent during the pandemic, and that's good news. I want to bring on our first guest, and it's Erin Barbee. She's with Dream Key Partners, and to have a conversation about a big event that's happening, and of course your opportunity to get some support. So first of all, hey Erin, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh no, thank you for joining us. I didn't look at who the guest was, and I know your heart. I know how much you work and serve in the community, and it's always just a joy to talk with you. So I appreciate you joining us.
It's good to see you. It's been a while.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Dream Key Works. Dream Key is working to transform lives and communities by tackling the affordable housing crisis, not just in the city. We know it's a countrywide issue, but you guys are working here in the city. And I say affordable housing is something that every state is struggling with. But Ramp Charlotte is one of your programs that provides mortgage assistance as well as rent assistance. So kind of tell us how it works.
Yeah, thank you. Great question. So the RampCLT program is responsible for administering the emergency rent and mortgage assistance funds issued by the Treasury.
Uh-huh.
So someone can go online to rampclt.com and they can apply for rent or mortgage assistance. If it's a rent application, it's open from the first of the month through the 15th of a month. We have a rolling system because our application numbers are so high. If
Okay.
someone is applying for mortgage assistance, it's open daily until funds are exhausted, which we don't anticipate funds will be exhausted until 2022 for mortgage. So once an applicant completes the application, we have to prioritize it, meaning that
Hmm.
if it's really important that people know that if they have an upcoming court date within the next 90 days or they're facing eviction, we will make sure that we process your application the fastest.
Oh, that's good to hear, and certainly people need to be made aware. Now, how has COVID impacted the need for Ramp Charlotte services? And I know there's been a tremendous impact, but kind of walk us through or share, the impact that you've experienced.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning of 2020, we never knew where this was going, right?
Right.
But what we've learned is that COVID-19 has absolutely devastated our community, specifically our Black and Brown communities.
Hmm.
People who've never experienced financial hardships have found themselves in a very dire situation. And
Hmm.
without the government funding for assistance, what we know is that there are a lot of people that would be without a home now that the eviction moratorium is lifted. And now that we're 18 months in, we're still seeing an incredibly high need. To be more specific, we've had almost 20,000 applications since
Wow.
February when we opened up the new application process in 2021. So the negative impact of COVID is very much with us every day.
Wow, 20,000. That's quite a large amount. Are mortgages trying to work with you guys, mortgage companies?
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. So
Okay.
we are working with the servicers who are trying to give forbearance or to be able to put something in place, a payment plan for people that need assistance. What has happened during COVID-19 is partners have really stepped up and said, we want to do anything we can to ease this burden for people who are going through difficulties.
Well, that's good to hear. So DreamKey is partnering with Congresswoman Alma Adams. It's an emergency rental assistance pop-up and vaccination clinic, and it's happening on Friday. What can renters expect? Because it's a little different. It's going to be virtual. Is that correct? So is there anything people need to bring with them, or tell me how this works?
Yeah, so actually, this is our very first in-person event.
Okay.
We have, to this point, not done anything in person because of COVID-19, but
Uh,
we're starting to see that we can take some necessary precautions and help people that need it most. So we're so excited that Congresswoman Adam and her team stepped up and said, we want to make this a top of mind because it's of utmost importance. And so
uh-huh.
on Friday, when people join us between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m., they can come on site and complete a new application. I want to
Okay.
really emphasize that this is for new applicants. If you're
Okay.
already in their system, let the system work. And so when they get there, they'll go to the Park Expo, you'll walk in, and you will be with one of my 10 team members who will help you go through the process. But also, we brought some partners with us. We brought legal aid, and
Okay.
we brought Mecklenburg County's um, I'm sorry, City of Charlotte's dispute settlement team, and we're
Okay.
having a vaccine clinic. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for people, and that's why the hours are so significantly long to make sure that people have time to get to us.
So let's repeat this again. I know it's at the Park Expo. It's on
Mhm.
Friday,
Mhm.
and you mentioned the hours. This pop up. What are the hours again?
The hours are from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay. So that gives people time if they need to run out maybe during their lunch break if they are working or even once they get off work or even request to leave a little bit early. And it's so good to know because the issue a lot of times is I honestly feel people aren't getting this information, Erin. And I know we are trying, but one of my complaints has been we're not taking the message to the people. You know,
Right.
there's funding there, there's money there, there is assistance out there. We just got to get to the people that need it. It would be a shame to return this money and not use it while people are losing their homes. And of course, I know you know that. So,
Yeah.
what are some other ways that Dream Key addresses the need for affordable housing right here in Charlotte?
Yeah, absolutely. So really, I mean, we are a developer of affordable housing. So we are making sure that we put roofs over people's heads, which I find so exciting. We are continually making sure that we're staving off gentrification.
Uh
But
huh.
from my perspective, the program side, we are very focused on helping to build financial stability for people and
Uh-huh.
also putting them on the pathway to home ownership, right? That's the best way to build generational wealth. And we
Absolutely.
do that by joining their journey. So we are also a one-stop shop when it comes to housing. Either you need a home or we've got to get you in a home. That's what we're going to do.
And you guys have been, I see your website, dreamkeypartners.org. Of course, people can go and find additional information. How long have you guys been at this?
So coincidentally, Dream Key Partners is a new name for a long-standing organization. We are used to be the Charlotte Mecklenburg Housing Partnership,
Okay.
and we've been around for over 31 years.
Well, that's so exciting. And they are very fortunate to have you, Erin. Again, I've known you've been out and about and see
Thank
you
you.
work, and I know you have a heart to serve others. So great, great people there, starting with you. Anything else that you would like to add?
Absolutely. So you'd mentioned that there's money out there on the table for people. So
Mhm.
we have exhausted a little over $32 million thus far, but we
Okay.
have another 53 million that is available for people. And that is a large sum. And we want to be able to help people. We can help with the rears going back to March of 2020. So
Yeah.
know that if someone is experiencing a hardship, don't hesitate to come to us. The money is there. Take advantage of the opportunity.
You mentioned the city of Charlotte dispute settlement would be
Mhm.
there as well. I take it they are also working with the courts so that
Yes.
once you get it resolved, they'll go back and talk with them.
Absolutely. So their job is to kind of be the mediator between the tenant and the landlord because oftentimes people don't know how to talk to their landlord in order
Right.
to move the process forward. And so that's what they're there for. And again, yes, they do work with the court system to say, hey, this person is in the process. Let's not move forward with any type of eviction.
And Erin, you mentioned the money that has been spent already, which is a significant amount, but there's
Mhm.
still a lot more to spend. Are you finding most of your clients are people that have been out of work, or that they have had to settle for something, maybe an underpaying job?
So I would say it's a both and. So in
Okay.
2020, when we saw massive layoffs because of businesses being closed, those people are starting to come back into the workforce, but
Okay.
they haven't caught up yet, right? It doesn't matter what they're paid. If you've got 10 months of arrears, it's hard
Yeah.
to catch up. And
Yeah.
so we're seeing both people who are still unemployed, those who are gainfully employed but can't catch up, and those who are coming back and they're underpaid.
Well, I certainly hope that they are. This I always express. I see Frederick Love has hopped on and others. Please share so that people can be informed and find out about this conversation. Also, because there's always really good information that we provide, and I would really love for people to know these options that haven't quite heard. How do you reach people? Is it going out and trying to find them? In the community, or using every media outlet that you can. So I certainly appreciate you all joining us. Appreciate you joining us, that is. And again, the pop up, let's refresh everybody. It's
Yeah.
on Friday.
It's on Friday, October 1st at the Park Expo from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Again, it's for new applicants, and we'll have people on site to help walk you through the application process.
Good, good stuff. And that's dreamkeypartners.org. Also, you can, it's a partnership with
Mhm.
rampcharlotte.com. Thank you so much, Erin, for taking the time to join us.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, you do the same. And of course, as you're hopping on, I see that you're joining us. Don't forget our question of the day. The county's asking about all this funding from the government. How would you like to see them use this funding? What should Mecklenburg County use $215 million in COVID-19 relief funds for? I'm hearing a lot of places. I was at a meeting last night, Town of Cornelius. It was actually a debate about officials that are running for office, and they had the same conversation. They got this funding. What should they do? How should they use it? And I was just sitting there thinking, why not do more to educate the community, to hold some COVID vaccination clinics, education clinics, workshops? There are plenty of ways I feel. And so I'll certainly weigh in on my suggestion because the funding is there. And I believe it's very specific on how that money can be spent when it's provided by the government. The consensus last night was transportation and other items that are not allowed according to these funds. So I think they talked about getting creative, but I never really heard anyone talking about let's use it for what it's allotted for. And I think that's really important. Now, I did hear in addition to transportation, affordable housing. So maybe there's some way they can get creative and tie it in. But certainly, I really think that we should be able to share our thoughts, and you're given the opportunity on how this money should be spent. Now, a couple of updates for you as we shift gears. Pfizer's another step closer to getting emergency approval. That's for COVID-19 vaccines for children as young as 5. The drug maker submitted its initial trial data on Tuesday and hopes to make a formal request in the coming weeks. So, just yesterday, they submitted the approval request. Meantime, this is really something that should really make you stop and pause. The life expectancy for men in America has dropped 2 years because of COVID. The Kaiser study doesn't really analyze life expectancy by race and income, but 2 years have been lost, and that's just really unfortunate. Right now, North Carolina has nearly 3,500 new COVID-19 cases, and there are currently 865 adults in ICU. 644 of them are on ventilators, which is also, quite some numbers that should really make us stop and pause because we worked so hard to get ahead, and now here we are. So Bruce has hopped on and says, don't poison the children, you monster. So clearly, Bruce has an opinion. He's considering it poison, and we appreciate all input and we appreciate all comments. Bruce, I really like to understand how you came up with this conclusion, however, because what we really also try to focus on are facts, information, instead of just spewing any and saying anything out there. We have too much of that happening right now. And so we look for responsible conversation. We're intentional about bringing on guests that are able to validate what they say, not just put something out there, because we have too much of that happening now. We have too much of people going online, getting information, and then considering it facts instead of dealing with the experts and trying to find out. You're welcome to even call Mecklenburg County Public Health. Their number 980-314-3400, or it might be 4,000. It's scrolling across the back. But I welcome any conversation. That's what we do. We welcome any conversation in this format so that you can talk about how you feel about the vaccine, why you don't want to take it. But just to call it poison, I think, in a sense, without having some facts to back it up, is a little irresponsible. And that's why we are where we are right now, is challenged to try to find a new normal, because we're kind of spinning our wheels, simply because we need to be more, I guess, considerate of our neighbors, more considerate of what's happening with us, and then more considerate of how things are going. With that said, I welcome your feedback, Bruce. I would love for you to weigh in also on our question of the day, which is, how do you feel Mecklenburg County Public Health, what they should do as far as the funding that's being provided, in reference to what's been provided. What should Mecklenburg County use the $215 million in COVID-19 relief funds for? We love to hear your input. I've got a note here from Earl Owens, and I'm not sure why it's showing up on this chat. It should be on the other side, but he said there's a lot of facts about the vaccination and the impact that it has had on the community, your community. People are dying for no reason other than being misled. So that's from Earl. I love the conversation, folks. I love the comments. So I'm not really sure, though, if you're saying they're being misled in the sense that they're taking the vaccine, or they're being misled because they're not taking the vaccine. So Earl Owens, your comment, I'd love for you to follow up on that as well as Bruce. It's showing up. It's not showing up in my public chat. Amelia, if you're aware of that, I'm seeing a comment from Earl Owens the third, but I don't know how we can move it over and get this conversation, keep it going, because that's what we're here for. We want your input. We would love to hear your comments, and we'd love to continue trying to inform you. That's what we're here to do, not to chastise anybody or penalize anybody. But I will ask that, it's not fair to just say anything just for the purpose of saying it, unless you've got some information that can kind of validate it. So, well, who I'd like to talk to next as we continue, our next guest is a part of something that I'm happily, very pleased to say that I'm a part of it as well. Earl is going to step in, or Earl is going to do the interview on Friday. So his comment again is in reference to information about our community not getting the facts. So I appreciate that comment that you just dropped in, Earl. So Amelia, I'm headed towards our next guest, which would be Jasmine Sanders, everyone, who is a part of, there she is. She's a
Hi there.
part. We got a lot of stuff going on here, Jasmine.
You
So
do. It's fabulous, Tanya. It's fabulous.
I appreciate that. So thank you so much for joining us as well. Earl is going to join us on Friday because we've got you here today and working around your schedule. For people
Thank
that
you.
aren't aware, I wish we had known, because Biff told me it was going to be next week. You are a co-host on the DL Hughley show, correct?
Yes, I am. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
right.
I'm absolutely thrilled to have you, and you're here today to talk about COVID in color.
I
Did I
am
say it
indeed. And,
perfect?
I
Yes.
wanted to, first of all, let me say this. Thank you so much for having me on your platform. I really appreciate you. I appreciate all that you're doing. I listening to you. And I think it's so important what you said regarding getting the facts
Right.
and having honest conversations about what is happening, not only in our country, but in our communities. And that's one
Yes.
of the reasons why I felt so compelled to participate in what the Impact Network is doing regarding this town hall conversation regarding COVID in color, because it is truly impacting in such a horrible way our community. And so it's so important that we get this information out there and that we take a good hard look at what is happening to our communities and how we are being decimated right in front of our very eyes.
Well, I'm just super thrilled. This is all coming to fruition, and as part of the town hall event, I am a part of it as well, putting together the packages, and we're talking about the social impact, educational impact, as well as the economical impact, and all of this tied into what it has done to our community. And
Mm.
we've got some really good conversations. You are hosting this event, and it launches on this Sunday at 11:30 on
Yeah.
Impact Network. And I saw as you were kind of doing the promo, which we were so excited to get the information. My producer here is the same one that worked with me on the package, Amelia Henderson. So we can't wait to roll this out. It's going to be on Sundays for, I believe, 4 Sundays. Can't really say for certain. I know it's going to be on Sundays at 11:30 on Impact Network, and people will hear more about it. But kind of speak about what your experience has been in dealing with this, as far as you being led to be a part of this project.
I being on the show and being like in the midst of it, because I have I guess a unique perspective, because listening to the listeners who call in, and then the viewers, obviously from the TV side,
Mhm.
it's interesting to hear so many stories of people who've been impacted by it, and then to hear people who still don't believe it's true,
Right.
to hear all of the conspiracy theories that are floating out there,
Yeah.
but then to have been affected by it personally. I myself have contracted COVID twice.
Oh my.
And so when people say to me, oh, it's not real, and, they're just trying to, insert microchips in you. And I'm thinking, have you not been paying attention to the news? Have you not seen the number of people who've died? Have you not seen the number of businesses in our communities that have closed to never reopen again? Have
Yeah.
you not paid attention to the stats? Like, where have you been? And so I figured, what else can I do to make sure that I played my part? And when history is read, that I was on the right side of it and trying to
Right.
do my part to the best of my ability to make sure that I try to do as much as I can to help. And so when this opportunity came my way, I jumped at it with excitement.
And I understand even on the radio show, you guys have really, DL Hughley, you guys have had played a major role in staying consistent about talking about the impact of the community, not any wavering back and forth at all. Can you kind of talk about how you guys reached that decision? Because obviously, radio plays a huge role, coming from
Mhm.
someone that's also a radio personality in our community. That's where people, in addition to church, they turn to Black radio and personalities for information.
Well, I would say, first of all, we believe wholeheartedly, too much given, much required. And I think when you have a microphone and you have a platform, it is a lot of responsibility. And we made the decision shortly after DL contracted COVID. The
Mhm.
whole world saw it, right?
Yeah.
And we thought we were one of those people that felt we were doing everything right. We wore masks, in the
Mhm.
studio. We did not, because we were very candidly, we thought we were okay. And
Yeah.
so when he came back, we found out we were all positive. And
Oh.
so we thought, wow, if it could happen to us. And I will be completely transparent and honest with you, Tanya. I thought, I don't feel anything. I don't feel sick. I couldn't possibly be COVID positive. It could not possibly happen to me. And when I found out I was positive, and luckily for me, I was asymptomatic, I knew instantly. And DL and I sat down and we had a long conversation about it. And I said, imagine how many people are walking around passing this virus along to other people whose immune systems are compromised and they don't even realize what they're doing. And so we sat down and we had a conversation, he and I together as a team. And then we sat everyone else down and we said, it's important that we are all in unison with this decision, that when we step out together as a team, and we are unwavering with it.
Well,
Once we made that decision, we never looked back.
Well, I am just thrilled again that you all continue to stay consistent with the message and very intentional about educating our community, because we've got so many, as has been illustrated, that are quick to accept what's on the other side. So when we speak about
Absolutely.
business owners that have closed to never return, even down to the most recent article of our morticians in our community,
Mm,
they are even dying. And I've just
absolutely.
done a long conversation, a story about how, there are certain professions in our community that have always been around. And shameless plug, I just did an article for the local paper here called Death with Dignity that talked about how growing up or back during the civil rights movement and, our history, let me just put it that way, where Blacks were not able to even enter from the front door to see their loved ones that were deceased with dignity. They had to enter from the back. And so now we got morticians that are dying and they're leaving their legacy to some of their family who say, I'm just not ready. And
Right.
then when I speak of Detroit, and I've got a friend that lives here now, she said she's lost so many people from the churches, even the faith community, that is just so hard to deal with. And I'm sure you guys hear a lot of those similar stories as well.
We do, absolutely, all the time. As a matter of fact, one of the distinguished panelists that we had during COVID in Color, she was actually in the hospital
Oh my.
on a respirator and
Oh,
didn't know if she was going to make it or not. And she said she had to really think about her children. She had to think about, what was going to happen to her legacy and what, she was going to do if she made it out. And, we were so shocked to hear that. And I think about how we often brag about the strides that we had made
yeah,
pre-COVID,
yeah,
right? And how we're so quick to talk about, Black Wall Street and
yeah.
all of the things that we were going to do. And so my question is, do we want to be responsible for our own demise because of ignorance? Do we want to turn our backs on the truth that is staring us in the face? And that is the fact that COVID is real, whether you choose to accept it or not. And I
Yeah.
understand there's all of this controversy surrounding the vaccine, and people are saying, don't do it. And, I'm thinking, okay, I can't tell you what to do. You as an adult have the right to make the own decisions for yourself or your
Right.
body, but
Uh,
just make sure it's the right decision and make sure that you're taking care of your family, because what we can't do is make decisions that affect the entire community and then try to blame it on somebody else.
Absolutely. So anyone just hopping on
It's a
again, this is
scary
Jazz.
thought. I think going into the next 5, 10 years with this thing, I think we have to really be careful about the decisions that we make. And I think this conversation that we're having, COVID in Color, is very instrumental and very important in how things turn out for us. And I think as many people as can should watch it. We have a lot of great experts, and I'm sure because you're a part of it, who are speaking a lot of truths, and there are things that people need to hear.
And that's one of the things I wanted to just chime in on as well, Jasmine, is what we really did was make sure we got real, just everyday folk. You
Yep.
guys have that mixture as well with celebrities because obviously, given that privilege, and you already mentioned that, then people look to you for leadership. I also thought as you were speaking, our people perish for lack of knowledge. And
Mhm.
to even point at our
Yes.
cousin Bobo or whoever tells you this is not for us, and I really have a hard time believing that people still believe it's about a chip. I have a hard time believing that it's about, trying to get rid of our population because we're not the only ones getting the vaccine, folks.
Correct.
And I'm okay if you say I don't want to go to the black side of town to get my vaccine. I'm going to go over to the wealthy neighborhood. Just make sure you're taking steps to protect not just you but your neighbor because it's about more than just person. It's about community at this point. Wouldn't you agree?
I totally agree. Couldn't have said it better myself, Tanya. Totally
Well,
agree.
oh, I appreciate you. Again, we appreciate you hopping on. I don't want to let you go without giving you an opportunity to follow up. We've got quite a few comments, people hopping on. And again, Jasmine Sanders, she is the host of the DL Hughley Show, talking about COVID in color. And see, mine is canceling COVID. We got all these C's jumping around everywhere, but COVID in color, everyone. Impact Network is coming. They've heard me talk about it. It's like, guys, we got this really big deal happening. It's coming. It's
It's
coming.
huge. You don't want
Yeah.
to miss it. You will be so upset with yourself if you do. I promise. You got to check it out.
And we're going to promote it. We're going to promote it on all social media outlets as soon as we get all the information. Again, thank you everybody for hopping on. But I want you, anything that you would like to share before we let you go. And we certainly appreciate you taking the time.
Listen, the only thing I can tell you is I would use this opportunity to shamelessly plug myself, but it's not about me. I care so much about my community that I want people to please take a moment and really take an honest look at yourself and say, why in the world would it be so important for them to target little old you, the
Right.
entire world, because COVID has affected the entire world, right? Not just us, but the whole world. And really take a look at your children, your babies, and think about your grandchildren and make good decisions about yourself educationally and economically. And please watch this town hall discussion, COVID in Color, so that you can learn and then you can turn around and teach someone else so that we can save ourselves, because that's the only way we're going to survive. That's the only way. That's the most important thing I can leave you with.
Well, I certainly appreciate you for saying that. Again, Jasmine Sanders, thank you again
And
for.
thank you so much. Thank you
Oh,
for
you're
all that you
welcome.
do. And thank you to the Impact Network as well.
Oh, yeah, we certainly appreciate them. COVID and Call, everyone, this Sunday. Make sure you check it out and tune in. Your lovely and talented host, Miss Jasmine Sanders, will
Thank
be
you.
leading the conversation. Thank you again for taking the time to talk with us.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So Amelia Henderson, our producer, a part of course, not just this canceling COVID, but also a part of the special that's going to air starting this Sunday at 11:30. We'll get you the link. We'll get you all the information. I see quite a few of you commenting. Is it Sablina Jones Gurley says great information. Mitch Patterson says thanks, Jasmine. Thanks for joining us. Cassania Johnson, amen. We just want you all to know that we are here serving community, really trying to inform and educate you, and hope that you will share this message as well. So I see several of you hopping on. If you could please click share and let people know that we've had a wonderful conversation as well. Ram Charlotte again on this Friday, an opportunity for people using or needing mortgage assistance. New applicants only. It's going to be at the Park Expo starting at 11 o'clock. And then COVID in Color launching on this Sunday, and it's going to be at 11:30 on Impact Network. A lot of hard work put into this and a lot of effort just to bring you the facts, folks. Again, a safe space, real talk, resources, trying to find resolutions, trying to find a way to navigate and understand so that we can all come out of this pandemic with our new norm. Well, my time is up, my friends. I certainly appreciate you all hopping on. And I certainly appreciate the comment again. So, Earl, again, the comment that he was making was about the facts about the vaccination and the impact that it's had on our community, your community. People are dying for no reason other than being misled. He is to the point of talking about why it's important that we should really get the facts on this vaccine and not just say that it's poison or whatever it may be. And again, I welcome your comments. Keep the conversation going. And the only way we can do that is let people know that we're here every Wednesday. I'll be back on Friday. More conversation to share with you all. And of course, you never know who just might drop in. So have a great day, everyone. It's a nice day here in the city. Get out and enjoy yourselves. And thank you again for tuning in. Together, we're going to work through this. As you heard from Jasmine, we've got all hands on decks, folks. We plan to cancel COVID. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thank you to Mecklenburg County Public Health, mecnc.gov, mecnc.gov, and thank you to Groundwater Solutions for joining us. Thank you.